Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining me here on the First Alert Desk. I apologize for the tardiness. We had some technical difficulties we had to deal with here at the station, but we are here up. As always, happy Tuesday to you all as we get ready to roll into our 4th of July celebrations tomorrow. A lot of rain out there today, unfortunately, so hopefully you guys weren't doing any fireworks or outdoor activities because we got slapped, and I think we're still kind of getting drenched right now, at least here in Midtown. That's going to continue out throughout the rest of the evening. Patrick Pete's going to be coming up in a little bit to talk to us about what we can expect tonight, and then more importantly, tomorrow when it's time to start shooting off all those fireworks and having some fun. But the only way you can have fun is if you're doing that stuff safely. That's where I want to start tonight, talking about fireworks safety because, guys, it is important. Now, mind you, over the weekend we had a wonderful display of fireworks at Look Up Atlanta in, I was about to say Central Park. No, excuse me, Centennial Olympic Park. Mind you, we do have a Central Park right here in Atlanta. We got a Central Park, we got a Piedmont Park, and then we have Centennial Olympic. The thing is, this was a professional fireworks show. So these guys know what they're doing. What happens is, you get people who look out, going to have some fun, launch some fireworks off, but they get injured. They get third-degree burns. They let kids do fireworks. They put themselves in harm's way, and then you get this uptick in ER visits, and a lot of the times it's people injuring themselves with fireworks. Usually it's the face, ears, and hands that get hit the most, followed by places like your nose, your chin, your chest, because these things are dangerous. And believe it or not, sparklers, children and sparklers are the #1 injury-prone firework combination. When you give kids those sparklers and they either don't know how to put them out or they hold them too close to their hand. So just be careful. Make sure if you're going to drink responsibly and have someone who's lighting the fireworks as an adult who isn't intoxicated to ensure you don't end up like some of these mannequins here that we are looking at. But ultimately, it's going to be a record-setting 4th of July when it comes to firework purchases and firework launching. So if you're going to be participating in that record, just do it safely. The next thing I want to talk about here is another 4th of July tradition. The Peachtree Road Race is going to be kicking off tomorrow morning, early tomorrow morning, and it is going to be another great race. This thing has been going on for decades, guys, and it is an Atlanta tradition. It's a Southeast tradition. All 50 states, 24 countries, people from all over the world fly in to come and participate for the road race and just have a good time, get out there, run. A lot of preparation is going to need to take place because if you haven't already been, training, good luck to you tomorrow. But regardless of that, it's going to be really, really hot and humid. So be ready for that. Be prepared. It is not going to be your average July morning. It's going to feel like July noon because of the temperatures. Drink a lot of water. There will be 10 water stations and 5 spray stations throughout the duration of the 10K. And it's going to go all the way from up north down into Midtown, down into downtown, as you know that race well. My uncle actually ran that race every year for a while. My mom ran the race. My dad ran the race. I have not run it myself. I usually stay home. And I'm going to be tuning into the hot dog eating contest, though. I know a lot of you guys are ready for that. Joey Chestnut stepping up again. We'll see if he can get it done. 15-time champion, upwards of $300,000 in wins just from this one contest. But he is a professional eater. And if you've seen those things go down, man, they know how to eat hot dogs. Shoosh! But a lot of fun going on for the 4th of July weekend. It is going to be this 4th of July, I should say. It is a Wednesday this year in the middle of the week, so we didn't get lucky with that Saturday or that Sunday 4th of July celebrations. But regardless, I'm sure Atlanta's going to be doing it great. Again, we're going to have Patrick Pete here in a little bit to talk about the weather because that is going to be a component, especially as we get into that evening time and start shooting off those fireworks. The last thing I want to talk about here is a lot more serious, and it's kind of a good ending to what was a tragedy that occurred here in Atlanta back in 2021. Miriams Law, you might remember that name. She was a bartender working at the VR bar here between Midtown and Buckhead who was tragically kidnapped, shot and killed when she was leaving her boyfriend's house back in 2021. The person that shot and killed her was a registered sex offender, and there was a loophole in Georgia law that basically allowed him to get out of jail without monitoring or without any form of oversight, which her family now says is what led to Miriam being killed, shot that night. Mind you, they've been working so hard alongside Rachel Polanski, our Atlanta News First investigator, to ensure that what happened to Miriam doesn't happen to anyone else. And Miriam's Law just took effect here in the state of Georgia, which heightens the restrictions on sex offenders, on repeat offenders, on criminals to prevent them from being out in the world, out in our community, and doing things like what happened to Miriam that fateful night. Rachel Polanski is going to walk us through what that looks like, as well as a quick look into a 30-minute special that we have now on AtlantaNewsFirst.com that aired earlier today and will continue to air on what it took to get Miriam's Law signed.
Atlanta News First Investigates is launching a 30-minute special report today titled Miriam's Law that not only follows our investigation, but also follows Miriam's family and friends as they push state lawmakers to take action, while also sharing stories about the young woman who inspired such dedication.
How would you describe Miriam in 3 words?
She was selfless,
understanding,
loving,
Kind,
compassionate, caring,
forgiving,
generous, positive.
loud. She's very loud.
Happy birthday, I guess. Baklava!
It's easy to see why Miriam Abdulrahman owned all their hearts.
She made us always feel like we belonged.
For a lot of queer people, we have chosen families, and Miriam was like a big part of my chosen family.
She gave me some of the best friends I could have ever asked for. Sorry. I'm so grateful for that, and she gave me that family and our family, and I just couldn't have asked for anything better.
Incredible. And again, it's a really powerful ending to a tragedy, but every Georgian is now going to benefit from Miriam's Law because it will indeed protect us all. I promised you, as I said, weather coming up now. If you've been in the Midtown area, or honestly a lot of areas all over Georgia, it has been a wet day today, and we're going to pray that it doesn't stick around tomorrow, but I'm not the one to say that. We've got meteorologist Patrick Pete right here to walk us through what the weather's going to look like for your 4th of July holiday. Patrick?
Thank you, sir. Yeah, we've seen lots of showers and storms across our area today, and there's still some active weather out there, and we are not tracking any warned storms, but there's been some reports of some strong wind. There's also been some heavy rain, frequent lightning, and we've actually seen some small hail as well. Winds gusted at about 41 miles per hour about 20 minutes ago at the airport. So those winds are sub-severe, but strong enough that some folks are out of power in some isolated locations. Meanwhile, the big question on everyone's face and in their minds, basically talking about what's up with tomorrow. It's the 4th of July, and we're trying to make plans. And unfortunately, we're looking at a similar setup. This setup that we've seen the last few days is not changing. It's not changing tomorrow. It's not changing in the foreseeable future. Unfortunately, that means that the chance for showers and thunderstorms, especially in the afternoons, looks pretty plausible as we head not only into your 4th of July, which we're first alerting because there is the risk that some of those storms could be strong to severe, but they're going to be scattered in and out of the forecast Wednesday afternoon, Thursday afternoon, Friday afternoon, Saturday. And with these storms, a lot of the questions that a lot of folks have been asking is, hey, I want to do this at 6 o'clock on Thursday. What's the weather going to be like? Well, with this setup, I can tell you that there's going to be some storms on radar, but because this isn't a frontal system pushing through, this is more so, honestly, just energy moving in from west to east. These thunderstorms just fire up. And the funny thing about it, if you've watched some of our models, we know the setup, we know the energy, so we know that there's going to be some storms that fire up. Where they fire up, that's one of the things that we actually do. We start nowcasting. We look at where the storms are firing up, and we just kind of extrapolate. So that's kind of been the journey today. That's been the journey for the week, and that's going to be the journey over the course of the next couple of days. That's why we always say, hey, listen, get our First Alert weather app, because as soon as we know, you know. As soon as these thunderstorms start to fire up, we tell you, hey, listen, it's coming your way. There's lightning 15, 10, 6 miles away moving into your area. With these type of setups, it's going to be important for you to get that information as soon as we can decipher that and send that out to you on our app. Meanwhile, first alert for tomorrow for those storms, so that means that we are looking at the risk for more of those strong to severe thunderstorms. Nothing severe tonight, but so far we've seen some pretty intense winds. So strong winds are going to be possible tomorrow. Also hail, heavy downpours, and lightning. That's why we're first alerting. Here's how we break through your Tuesday forecast. We'll start off pretty dry for the morning. I do have about a 20% chance of an isolated shower, only because I know folks are going to be getting up. There's a lot going on tomorrow morning, even though we're all off work, or most of you are. There's a lot going on, and there's the chance for that early morning shower. I think the bigger factor tomorrow morning is just going to be that it's warm and humid, and that's going to be the beginning of a very humid afternoon as we get closer to 12 o'clock. We're going to watch for more of those showers and storms moving out of Alabama, watching the northwestern corner of the state earlier in the morning, closer to the afternoon hours. And by around 3 to 4, it looks like we're going to have some showers and storms that are going to be riding that I-20 corridor. So if you have any plans to be, most folks are barbecuing, grilling out, hanging out by the pool, hanging out outside with family, watch the 2 to 3 o'clock time frame, because that's when those storms are going to begin firing up, moving towards the east. I still expect us to have a pretty active radar by 6 o'clock, and we're first alerting because we expect things to be pretty active until about 10. After that, those showers and storms should become more isolated. Same thing's going to happen tonight. There's showers and storms right now. They're stronger right now. As we head through the next couple of hours, they should, in theory, weaken and become not as widespread. But there's more rain moving in from Alabama, so it's going to be damp, at least for somebody in North Georgia, as we head through the next few hours. So as you're getting out tomorrow morning, maybe hitting the Peachtree Road race, just remember to stay hydrated, because once again, the humidity that we've been feeling for the last week, it really has a hold of North Georgia, and we're going to continue to experience that. That rain chance is pretty low, so I do expect it to be pretty dry for the race. And as we head into the afternoon, lots of folks are going to be grilling out in the backyard. And I think that if you're grilling out closer to 12-1, you're okay. The later you wait in the day to throw those steaks on the grill, that's whenever you're really going to want to look at your first alert weather app, look at where those storms are firing up, and say, okay, I have an hour. Okay, whatever you can get cooked in an hour, maybe you can move it under the shed, under the carport, whatever you need to do to kind of maneuver things. It's really going to be one of those type of days, because we do expect those scattered storms to start firing up roughly 2 to 3 o'clock. We increase those rain and thunderstorm opportunities, and they stay elevated through the early evening. And I know that fireworks are a big thing. We're still going to be seeing widespread scattered showers and storms at 8. By 9, 10 o'clock, that should reduce in coverage and intensity. So if you can kind of hold off for doing your little fireworks display till about 9, 9:30, looks like we're going to be in better shape for most of us to be on the drier side. Winds are going to be pretty light, which is good, since a lot of folks are going to want to be throwing stuff, high into the air. Meanwhile, Wednesday, we're starting off dry yet again. Another warm, muggy morning, low to mid-70s. As we get into the afternoon, we'll start to see some of those showers and storms, expecting that to be the story. Through the 2 to 3 o'clock hour, temperatures are going to still climb into the upper 80s, flirting with 90 degrees for most of us, although much like the last week, the temperature forecast for each location is really going to depend on when those storms move in. Since we think that it's mainly after 2, most of us will get into the upper 80s. Where those storms don't fire up, you should hit closer to 90. Meanwhile, cooling for the evening, with numbers at least in the low 70s through the overnight. And I mentioned earlier that the humidity would remain elevated in the forecast, and temperatures are going to be pretty seasonal, but it's going to feel like the mid to upper 90s, not only Tuesday, Wednesday, but Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Saturday, admittedly, looks to be maybe our best chance at some isolated showers and storms. Every other day, it's just going to be widespread, but guidance is trending a little bit drier for Saturday. So that means the more of us will have more dry time. Still expecting a little bit of thunder activity as temperatures are going to be warming. We'll get to 92 Saturday and Sunday. Sunday looks to be the wettest. And we're watching next Monday, because next Monday looks like we'll have a frontal boundary that pushes through. That's going to bring some higher moisture. So we have that rain chance elevated, and some slightly cooler temperatures, at least for Monday, topping out in the upper 80s. You'll have to stick with us as we head through the next couple of days. If guidance continues to stay with the trends for Monday, that may end up being a first alert. Right now, we're just giving it a high rain and thunderstorm chance, but we'll decipher this within the next 24 hours and see if the guidance continues to trend that way. So, with that being said, you guys know that it has been a very active weather day so far, at least for the last couple of hours. There are still some active showers and storms right now, and we're still expecting a little bit of energy tonight. So if you're thinking about stepping out, since a lot of y'all have the day off tomorrow, you want to maybe check in with us tonight on Peachtree TV at 9 and 10, because we're going to be going through the hour-by-hour breakdown of where these storms are and where they're going, just so that you can miss out on that. And then, of course, we'll have the latest information on your 4th of July forecast. More data is actually coming in now, so I'm going to actually head back there to decipher that and leave y'all with this 7-day, and I will catch y'all at 9.